and vellum manuscripts of the Scriptures. The noted Dead Sea Scroll of Isaiah, for instance, is a leather roll. Papyrus, a type of paper made from the fibers of a water plant, was used for Bible manuscripts in the original languages and for translations thereof until about the 4th century CE. At that time its use for Bible manuscripts began to be superseded by the use of vellum, a fine grade of parchment generally made from calf, lamb, or goat skins, a further development of the earlier use of animal skins as writing material. Such manuscripts as the renowned Codex Sinaiticus Textui Acute Longo manuscripts of the Bible 313 is generally no word separation, and rarely any punctuation or accent marks. The Codex Sinaiticus is such an uncial manuscript. Changes in writing style began to develop in the 6th century, eventually leading in the 9th century CE to the cursive, or minuscule, manuscript, written in smaller letters, many of which were joined in a running or flowing writing style. The majority of extant manuscripts of the Christian Greek scriptures have a cursive script. Cursive manuscripts remained in vogue until the inception of printing. Copyists. As far as is known today, no handwritten original, or autograph, manuscripts of the Bible are in existence. Yet the Bible has been preserved in accurate, reliable form because biblical copyists in general, accepting the scriptures as being divinely inspired, sought perfection in their arduous labor of producing manuscript copies of God's Word. The men who copied the Hebrew Scriptures in the days of Jesus Christ's ministry on earth and for centuries before that time were called scribes Heb. So middle.Ferim. Among the early scribes was Ezra, spoken of in the Scriptures as a skilled copyist. Ez 7. 6 later scribes made some deliberate alterations of the Hebrew text. But their scribal successors, the Masoretes, detected these and recorded them in the Masorah, or notes appearing in the margins of the Hebrew Masoretic text they produced. Copyists of the Christian Greek scriptures also made earnest efforts to reproduce faithfully the text of the scriptures. What assurance is there that the Bible has not been changed? Despite the care exercised by copyists of Bible manuscripts, a number of small scribal errors and alterations crept into the text. On the whole, these are insignificant and have no bearing on the Bible's general integrity. They have been detected and corrected by means of careful scholastic collation or critical comparison of the many extant manuscripts and ancient versions. Critical study of the Hebrew text of the Scriptures commenced toward the end of the 18th century. Benjamin Kennicott published at Oxford in 1776–1780 the readings of over 600 Masoretic Hebrew manuscripts, and the Italian scholar Gianbernardo da Rossi published at Parma comparisons of 731 manuscripts in 1784–1798. Master texts of the Hebrew Scriptures were also produced by the German scholar Bayer and, more recently, by C.D. Ginsburg. Hebrew scholar Rudolf Kittel released in 1906 the first edition of his Biblio-Hebraica, the Hebrew Bible, providing therein a textual study through a footnote service, comparing many Hebrew manuscripts of the Masoretic text. The basic text he used was the Ben Chayyim text. But, when the older and superior Ben Asher Masoretic texts became available, Kittel undertook the production of an entirely new third edition, which was completed by his colleagues after his death. The 7th, 8th, and 9th editions of the Biblio-Hebraica 1951–1955 furnished the basic text used to render the Hebrew Scriptures into English in the New World Translation of the Holy Scriptures originally published in 1950–1960. A new edition of the Hebrew text, namely Biblio-Hebraica Stuttgartenser, is dated 1977. This edition was used for updating the information presented in the footnotes of the New World Translation published in 1984. The first printed edition of the Christian Greek Scriptures was that appearing in the Complutensian Polyglot in Greek and Latin, of 1514–1517. Then in 1516 the Dutch scholar Desiderius Erasmus published his first edition of a Master Greek text of the Christian Greek Scriptures. It contained many errors, but an improved text thereof was made available through 4 succeeding O Textui Acute Longo manuscripts of the Bible 314. A Greek master text of the Christian Greek Scriptures that attained wide acceptance is that produced in 1881 by Cambridge University scholars B. F. Westcott and F. J. Ort. It was the project of 28 years of independent labor, though they compared notes regularly. Like Griesbach, they divided manuscripts into families and leaned heavily on what they termed the neutral text, which included the renowned Sinaitic manuscript and the Vatican manuscript No. 1209, both of the 4th century CE, while Westcott and Dort viewed matters as quite conclusive when these manuscripts agreed, and especially when they were supported by other ancient uncial manuscripts, they were not bound to that position. They took every conceivable factor into consideration in endeavoring to solve problems presented by conflicting texts. And when two readings were of equal weight, that, too, was indicated in their master text. The Westcott and Dort text was the one used principally in translating the Christian Greek scriptures into English in the New World Translation. However, the New World Bible Translation Committee also consulted other excellent Greek texts, among them Nestle's Greek text 1948. Commenting on the history of the text of the Christian Greek scriptures and the results of modern textual research, Professor Kurt Allen wrote, "It can be determined, on the basis of 40 years of experience and with the results which have come to light in examining manuscripts at 1,200 test places. The text of the New Testament has been excellently transmitted, better than any other writing from ancient times. The possibility that manuscripts might yet be found that would change